Hello and welcome to In 20 with me, Roshan Narayan. Do show some love by subscribing to our YouTube channel, sharing it, of course, of course, give us a follow on our Instagram and our Facebook page. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our very first guest on the show, Dominic Matteo. Dominic, thank you so much for joining us. You look fit as a fiddle. And Dominic, I got to be honest, you and I, Dom, are friends. We have had the opportunity of talking to each other, but the fans would love to get to know you. And if you don't mind, let's fire off some questions, shall we?
Yeah, no problem. Let's crack on.
Hi, Dominic. How are you, my man? I'm Donny from Sarawak, Malaysia. Yeah, I hope everything is well for you. I would like to check with you, who is your favorite teammate when you are playing with Liverpool? Okay, my brother, for the time being, you never work alone and stay safe. Bye.
Well, thank you for the question. Yeah, I think that it's a really difficult one for me because I got on so well with so many players at certain different times and some great players. I think the best player I've played with all round who had everything, I'd probably have to say Steven Gerrard. He was such he was such a player. He could play anywhere, any position. I remember playing the game with him and he played right back. He was incredible. He was absolutely incredible. That player could play anywhere. He's the only player I know who could play every position on the pitch, and that's one of the biggest compliments I give. He could do anything. He could do everything, and the drive that he had, and you've seen Jamie Carragher in that. The drive they had, pushing people, just pushing. They always pushed forward, and when you've got that, you've always got a chance. And you've got a Gerrard, and you've got your Carragher's, in the background helping you push that as well. You've got some incredible. It's. Sometimes when I watched Steven Gerrard play, it was never enough. He always wanted to do more, win, score more goals, do more. He had absolutely everything. And obviously, I know the guy quite well, and he sent me some great messages. And when I've been struggling a little bit, and it's just inspirational to get messages off people like that going forward. Proper people who really cared about me. And when they send you an actual message like that, I can't help but thank people. Like Stephen, because it's been an inspiration, and for fans watching this, be inspired by Steven Gerrard, because I certainly was, and watching him even as a manager now pushing forward, it's great to see.
How good will he be in the years to come as a manager for you?
Well, knowing him as a person and how much drive he has, I think he'll end up being top manager. And He just has something about him. He has that aura about him. He wants to be the best. It might take him a little while because obviously he's been down the route of working with the under-18s at Liverpool for a season. Really done a brilliant job doing that. A lot of people learned a lot from him, and I think he's got obviously still a lot to learn, as we all had when you do your careers. But I think he's got great people around him. Gary Max, his close friend, Gary McAllister, who's been around him for a while. People like him, he's going to need people like that going forward, and he's got a lot of good people around him. So, yeah, Stevie Gerrard for me, all-round player, but still doing a top job as a manager now.
Okay, I'm sorry I got to do this to you, but right now, if you were to compare both your careers as a manager, who's doing a better job, Frank Lampard or Steven Gerrard?
For me, I think they're both doing good jobs and both good guys. But
come on, Dom.
No, you'll get your answer. The answer is Steven Gerrard.
Wow, okay.
Because I just believe the way, and sometimes it falls into place for you sometimes, and I think it's fallen into place for Lampard a little bit, because when you get an opportunity like Chelsea after you've been at Derby, I think it's a no-brainer, and that's no disrespect to Derby. It was a good opportunity and a good learning curve for him, but for him to get to Chelsea was where he wanted to be, and I think for Gerrard, being at Rangers after being at Liverpool's academy, it's a brilliant move for him, and I think you'll see him develop with time. It's going to take time because he's a young manager, just like Lampard. But I think going forward, I'm hoping that it's Steven Gerrard we're talking about.
So the gap will widen between Steven Gerrard and Frank Lampard. I just summarized that for you. Don't need to add to that, Dom. I'm not trying to get you into trouble. But no. Let's move on. Let's move on to another club. Sorry?
I generally think that at some point, I don't know when, and I don't know where. but I think, that for me, 4 or 5 years further down the line, hopefully again we can see Steven Gerrard as a potential manager at one of the top 3 clubs, and you know which club I'm thinking about.
Manchester United, of course. It's the obvious choice for Steven Gerrard. I'm just kidding. Stop the hate mail or the messages right now. Let's move on to another club that you're really linked with. It's Leeds United. And the question comes from Arvind.
Hi everyone, my name is Arvind. I'd like to wish everyone a blessed Mubarak and a Selamat Hari Raya. My question to Dominic Matteo is, in 2004, Leeds went through a severely tough time with the financial meltdown that the club was going through. Dom took a decision to ask the other players to take a wage deferral, which was a very good thing and was a memory that all us fans hold proud. My question to Dom is, when he decided to do that, what were the results of it? What was the reaction that he got from the rest of the squad? And does he regret, or would he have done things differently in any way? Thank you.
That's a brilliant question, because there's so many scenarios that this played out. I think for me personally, I think I made the right call by saying what I said. I was willing to do a deferral, and certain players weren't. I was captain at the time, so I thought maybe that gave me a little bit of right or respect to maybe ask a few players to do that. The one disappointment from that, when we all sat down and had the meeting, was I just thought everyone would say yes, we'll all defer. I just thought that would be the common question, because I thought everyone's done okay financially. It wasn't like nobody was struggling for money or anything like that. So I just thought at that point it was the right thing to do as a human being, was to defer the wages. And because the thing is, you have to realise when there's a deferral happening, you're going to get the money back. So it's just basically a loan, isn't it? You're not getting your full wages at the moment, but you will get some back, and that's exactly what it is. And I don't think too many grasped that. And I think it was difficult. I mean, I didn't physically fall out with any players, but I could definitely see a reaction, and some of the players weren't happy about having to do that, whether they were on less wages or they were on different contracts to me, different lengths of time. There was lots of issues around that. It was all right for me, maybe on a 4-year contract on decent wages. Somebody further down the line might have been they had 6 months left on the contract and might not be earning, the same amount of wages. So there was it was a really difficult period of time for me to get through, because there was different opinions from every different department. And I just think we probably could have dealt with it a little bit better, because I think at the end of the day, especially in Leeds, I know the Leeds fans inside out. I still live near the area, and they deserved a little bit more respect, I thought, at that period.
So these players who said no to you downright, did it affect your relationship with them? Are you all still on talking terms, not talking terms? What happened then?
Yeah, I think it was awkward for me personally, because I said I would do a deferral, and then obviously it didn't pan out the way that I thought it would. I wouldn't say I was angry. I was just shocked more than anything. I keep saying I was literally shocked that we didn't want to do it because of the reasons I've just said. And I just thought, this is an opportunity to do the right thing. As footballers, you always get talked about, you always get too much money, this, that and the other. So I thought, right, well, if we all do the right thing here, that stops that. So we all do the deferral, put it to bed, and we just crack on with being footballers, because you're going to get your money back. And if you're not, it doesn't matter, because in a month's time you're going to get your wage again. So I just thought it would have been the right thing either way there to just do the right thing. And I don't think we did that too well, but there was a lot of different, like I said, there was a lot of different scenarios with different people, lengths of contracts, and people on different finances, and people at the end of their careers wanting to get the last bit of money in. Yeah. It's difficult to say, because I don't know every scenario. I only know I was a little bit disappointed that it wasn't more easy to do than what we first hoped.
Let's hear from an Arsenal fan.
Hi everybody, this is Izham from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I would like to wish Eid Mubarak and Selamat Hari Raya Aidilfitri. Hello Dom. Well, I'm an Arsenal fan, as you can see, And I got a couple of questions, if you don't mind. Obviously, Liverpool is heading towards winning the Premier League in great fashion. However, is there any sense of frustration of Liverpool not winning it unbeaten? And which one is stronger, the current Liverpool team or the Arsenal Invisibles?
I tell you what, it's a tough question. No, being honest, to start with Arsenal, I think the Invincibles squad was pretty special. They had some unbelievable players. I mean, having played against them and experienced it, I actually seen both sides of the game. I don't know if you've seen it. It's been shown recently. The Arsenal Leeds game away at Arsenal. I mean, I played in that game. We won 3-2 to stay up, and Man United obviously they won the league more or less from that game as well. Getting the result at Arsenal for us against us. So yeah, mixed feelings in that. But I think they were so good, Arsenal, weren't they? They were so good to watch. They could do everything as well, and we had so many good players. Like, you know, when you've got players like Vieira, Thierry Henry, Pires, so underrated. What a player he was. Lundberg, you know, Ray Parlour doesn't ever get enough credit for the job he did for his team week in, week out. There was so many good players. You know, I'm missing loads of players out. You know, missing all the defenders out. They had so much wealth of probably a bit of a mixture of old and new players, and people at different areas, different times of their careers. If you think about Tony Adams, his career when he was winning things again at Arsenal, what a leader! You know, and you think about them leaders, and then people like Vieira and Henry, and Gilberto, all them players. You know, you've seen a few of them boys, and you know the quality they have and the respect.
They were winners.
Yeah, they were all winners, and I think that's the one thing you have to say. They had a great attitude around them as well, and I think Man United had that kind of attitude. You know, you remember them famous games, the Keane against Vieira battles. They were incredible to watch. I mean, I loved watching them games. They're the games you want to watch. I love a bit of that, a little bit of nastiness. It doesn't hurt anyone in a game of football. You need it, and I think them players both had that. And to see the best of them doing that kind of tackling and getting stuck in, that's what football was all about for me. And you know, I think going forward, we ain't going to see that, because that's the way football's changed. But unfortunately, fortunately for me, I was lucky enough to see a few of them games, and they were incredible to watch.
You didn't just see them, Dom. You were a part of that whole generation of warriors.
Yeah, do you know the great thing about it is, I mean, when I was talking about that game, I got man of the match against Arsenal, and we won 3-2 for Leeds to stay up. It was such an emotional game for me, even though obviously Man United had got pipped Arsenal to the league, and I was staying up. But for me, at Leeds, staying up that day was frightening, because I couldn't sleep the night before. I was thinking, I've got to play Arsenal the next day. They've got the best team going in the league at the moment, so we're going to have to pull it out here to get through. And I remember Peter Reid, me and Peter Reid having a chat, as you do as captain when you get you go around to speak to the managers and stuff, and we just looked at each other. We looked at their team, we looked at our team, and we just thought, this could be a tough day at the office today, and it certainly was. But I almost think, how did we? I don't even know how we won that game 3-2. I mean, we played all right. We played well. We had some good players. You know, Big Viduka came up with the winner, but what an incredible team to play against. And you always know how hard it is to play against. When Man U were at the peak, and Arsenal and them teams at the peak, they were so hard to play against, because you didn't know how they were going to beat you, but they just found a way of doing it. And I think that's what the teams in them eras, even you can put Chelsea in that as well. The teams, they just learned how to win, and they learned a way of winning, which was very infectious. And hopefully Liverpool can just get this one sorted now.
Hey guys, Selamat Hari Raya Idul Fitri. Eid Mubarak to everyone. I would like to know, who do you think is the better player, Wayne Rooney or Steven Gerrard? And moving forward, will the world of football be changed based on the current environment? Remember, stay home, stay safe. Bye.
Wow, as you can tell, they seem like brothers to me. But yeah, good question. Steven Gerrard or Wayne Rooney first up?
Well, you know my answer to that, don't you? I mean, two incredible players. But the thing is, like, I love Wayne Rooney as a player, because he had that bit of a side to him, where he'd get stuck in, but he's also a top player, and for me, he did things the right way. I don't mind that bit of aggression, even though he's a Man United player. You know, the top players all had that. Stephen had it. He had it. To be winners, you have to have that, and them two had it in abundance. I think I'd have to side with my decision earlier with Steven Gerrard. I think he was the most all-round player. He could do everything. I mean, I bet you, even if people like Wayne Rooney were in the room now, well, maybe not Wayne would comment on that, saying that Stevie was a better player, but I just think he was one of the players who could do everything. That's my reasons why I always chose Stevie. And also, to be honest, when you actually get to play with a player like Gerrard, it's weird. You find yourself watching sometimes. You know, you find yourself watching the game when you shouldn't be. You should be concentrating on playing your game. But someone like Gerrard, it was just because you're fixated to what he's doing, because he's in control. He's the man who's running the game. You know, and when you get a player like that, it's incredible. Because, I mean, if you look at all the finals and stuff that they won, without Steven Gerrard, all right, people might say Michael Owen. You know, some of them finals, you know, no disrespect, you know, when they won it for the 5th time, Steven Gerrard was huge for that. I know a lot of people might say other people were as well, but when Stevie got that goal back in Istanbul and stuff, you know, he was a massive catalyst in a lot of stuff. And, you know, you think about the West Ham game, everyone thought that game was over, but Stephen didn't. He kept going, and he got, you know, in the end, he got that late goal, and just incredible. I mean, that drive to be the best constantly. I didn't have that as much as what them players had, and it's incredible, and it's great to, you know, it's great to witness that greatness, because that's what they were. Them two players. Sorry, you've talked about. Nearly included myself then. Them two players were just brilliant to watch, and both Scousers. You know, which for me is great. You know, both. You know, people might say one from the wrong side of the city, which they certainly were. But you know, great players, and I think you can't help but admire. I mean, look at the goals, the England goals that Wayne Rooney has. You have to respect that. Yeah. I think what I'm trying to say, them two players had that much respect for each other. That they just got on with stuff. They got on with the football. Even when they played for England, they were probably mates. But you know, obviously England goes apart when it comes to Manchester United and Liverpool, because whatever anyone says, like, I bet you the Liverpool players all sat together, and I bet you all the Man U players sat together. I don't think it's quite as bad now, but it was like that for a while, because I witnessed a little bit of that, and it was just because Liverpool wanted to win, Man U wanted to win, Chelsea wanted to win their game. So that's the kind of scenario we're in. When you've got winners, that's what happens.
Okay, I'll make it easy then. You've picked Steven Gerrard.
Yeah.
If it was Wayne Rooney and that man, if you look over your right shoulder, Michael Owen. Is that his Real Madrid jersey, by the way?
It is, yeah. Michael sent me that over. I haven't just positioned that, by the way. That's always there. And Robbie Keane, my mucker, on the other side. Again, you know, I think when you talk about Michael Owen, I mean, talk about a player who came on the scene when he's 17 and absolutely smashed it. I mean, he was, if you speak to him, he was probably at his best when he was like 17, 18. So for like 7-8 years, that was his best probably period, where he was just on fire. You couldn't play against him. He was so quick, he was so rapid. He just wanted to be the best footballer in the world. And, you know, he won some unbelievable awards. You know, and again, going back to the goals he scored in the final and stuff, I think against Arsenal again. Sorry, Arsenal, keep mentioning Arsenal. But I mean, again, you know, being around people like him, it's inspirational. And Michael Owen, again, he was nasty. I mean, people who know Michael, he put a foot in, and you know, especially against like Man United. You know, I think the game when he gets, my memory's not great, but I think he got sent off against Man United. I think Schmeichel, it was quite a heavy tackle on him, and I think Michael got sent off in the game, and it changed the game a little bit. And we ended up drawing the game 1-1. Obviously, against Man United, it's difficult when you're down to 10 men. But I think with Michael, he was a leader again. But he was just so good and so quick, and everything he did was so positive. You remember them goals he scored against Argentina? His positivity was, I'm just going to get on this ball now, dribble past that man and put it into the back of the net. And that's exactly what he did.
All right, Dom, thank you so much. I tell you, as a friend, it's so good to see you out and about again. As a colleague, it's so good to hear your voice, your opinions. It's been an absolute pleasure, my friend. I thank you so much for joining us. I wish you nothing but the best, and I hope to see you soon.
Thanks so much. Appreciate the call. And like you say, this is really helping me as well doing these type of calls. So appreciate that so much. And for anyone else who's suffering out there, I've got you. I've got your backs, guys. Keep going.
Brilliant, Dom. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page or follow us on Facebook or on Instagram. My name is Roshan Narayan. Till the next time.